everyone, happy Wednesday. So I wanted to go over a video that talks about timing on a lot of these changes. So I get asked a lot of the times, how can you make changes on a website in the first month where the clients are really, really happy and they can see a lot of movement? Or you guys are asking me, if I make a change on page, what is the timing of it and how long do we have to wait before we see ranking improvements? So really this video is just all about timing, the different changes that I make, and how much time we need to wait for the arrows to go up or down. So it's just going to be a conversation. I pulled up a site. This is not my site, but I thought the site was beautiful. It shows the 360 bridge here in Austin, so I thought, why not? So I'm going to take a look at this site and kind of go over some of the changes you would make in the very beginning of a campaign and then talk about timing of it all. So whenever I take on a new client, one of the first places I check to see if I can make a difference is actually in the meta titles. Now, the meta title of your ranking pages a lot of times can be wrong for a few reasons. One, a lot of times the actual keyword or their main keyword that they love the most or gets them the most phone calls usually isn't the most targeted keyword in the meta title. So I always take a look at the meta titles after you do some keyword mapping. Take a look at their meta titles. Can you move their biggest and best keyword closer to the beginning of their meta title? Sometimes you'll see brand first. Sometimes you'll see other random keywords. Just see what you can do. Now, I know you still have to make it clickable and worry about the click-through rates, but what can you do to move their biggest and baddest keyword closest to the beginning of the meta title? So just take a look at that. Often there are changes in the meta title that will make you look like a superhero. And the timing of meta title changes, you usually have to wait a couple of days and before you get the green arrow. So you can make the meta title changes, crawl the site. The first thing you'll see are red arrows going down. If Google's feeling super dramatic, you'll even drop it out of the top 100 index. Don't even pay attention to it. A lot of times I'll make meta title changes, then crawl the site, and then I won't even check the SERPS for 2 days. Wait 2 days, it should start to calm down where you're now starting to see green arrows. But I will say there are some super dramatic websites out there that are hypersensitive that you even have to wait a week from changing the meta titles before you start to see the green arrows. In that week, you will doubt yourself. You will think you've changed it for the worst. You will think you've over-optimized. Just wait it out to see what kind of green arrows you're going to get. A lot of times the payoff is really, really big. So the more dramatic the site is acting, wait a week, then go back and look for your green arrows. We used to be able to make meta title changes and get the ranking improvements within the hour. I'm not seeing that anymore. I'm waiting anywhere from 2 days to a week before I really get to see how it will pay off. The next thing I start checking is over and under optimization. A lot of times I'm seeing the sites actually over optimized, and if I'm able to come in and make those changes, I then have to wait about a week once I get it crawled to see the green arrows react. Sometimes you can still see the green arrows within the first day, the second day, but sometimes the sites are making us wait about a week before we can see, the really good rankings improvements. So really when you're manipulating on page, you want to wait a week to make sure before you go in and start mucking it up and changing it all back, and you don't even really know that type of arrows you're going to get. So after the meta titles, the over and under optimization, the next thing I check to see if I can make a big difference is the interlinking of the website. I'll take a look. Now we go over interlinking in depth and even give away our biggest and best silos in RYR Level Up, and we've really dialed it in for those guys so that they are able just to come in, change their silo, and then wait for the ranking improvements. So here, whenever I take on anyone new, I look to see, can I change interlinking with my RYR Level Up style? And if so, I go ahead and change it up on as many pages as I can, as quickly as I can, and then I get it crawled. Because with interlinking, you're waiting 2 to 3 weeks before you see the green arrows. So you can come in, change up your interlinking to be like RYR Level Up, and then have the entire site crawled, and then you're waiting 2 to 3 weeks. In those 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see absolutely nothing. It's going to be crickets. And then at the end of that wait, you're going to see your boost in the green arrows. The next thing I do is take a look at their URL structure. You can see here they have heating, air conditioning, central air conditioning. A lot of times these longer URL structures really cause keyword cannibalization. So the next thing I check for is keyword cannibalization when I see URL structures like this. And what I'm looking for is, what do I need a 301? What can I clean up to really condense the URL structures? And if they do have keyword cannibalization, I go ahead and troubleshoot that and get that taken care of in the first month. So I'm making a lot of on-site pages in the first month. And I know that keyword cannibalization, you'll start to see the ranking boosts more than likely in the second month. So in the first month, I like to knock it out so that the first month and the second month boosts are already taken care of. And those are some of the biggest boosts that we are actually getting at the time. So taking a look at the URL structure, I can see that they're probably going to have a problem, but you really don't know until you actually dig into their Google Search Console and do a couple of checks. You can see they're not taking advantage of interlinking at all, so I know I could get a boost from that. Just throw in the RYR Level Up structure. And then the heating, air conditioning, and air conditioning repair, odds are they're getting caught up in keyword cannibalization. So I'm going to troubleshoot. I'm going to check in Google Search Console to make sure if they are or aren't. If they are, I know that's another positive sign for me because I can clean it up and then see continued boost in the second month. So the first and second month, you can pretty much take care of rankings increases really by dialing in on page. It's very rare for me to see a site that has all of this completely dialed in. And I can tell you, the new clients that I take on absolutely never have the RYR Level Up structure for interlinking. So I always know that's a given. So whenever I'm doing a proposal or talking to someone new that just came in to the agency, I know that I can guarantee them rankings boost in the first 2 months right away. And honestly, if you can boost rankings in month 1 and in month 2 consistently, and usually we're talking about really big rankings boosts, they are completely smitten and they fall in love with you. So that's where I'm getting the biggest ranking boost pretty much on a continual basis from most sites. We will see other sites where we're able to dial in a few other factors, but this is just the meat and potatoes, I guess, so to speak, of what I look at whenever I take someone on to know, okay, I can pretty much knock it out of the park in the first 2 months and then start working on the on page. So that's some of the timings that you're looking for with on page. Most of the time you really have to wait for it these days. I hate it. I think it's absurd to have to wait that long for the boost, but I mean, I guess we're still kind of spoiled because we're talking about boosts in the first week, second, third week, first month, second month. We're talking about continued boosts. And a lot of times we're not seeing that with SEO campaigns, that short of a timeline. So I think we're still spoiled, but yes, we used to get the boosts in the first and second day. Now we still do see boosts in the first and second day, but really you're seeing the rankings go up and down before it's a steady boost. So I just like to prepare all of my clients that while you'll see boosts in the beginning, really the best boost that you're going to see is at the end of month 1 and at the end of month 2, and then you're going to continually see it as we work on the site and deploy some of our silo structures and that type of thing. So I hope that clears up timing. I think that's the biggest and best things or takeaways in this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.